Welcome to Behind the Screens. As always, we have a great show in store for you, including an awards season recap, an interview with freelance filmmaker Jake Hawkins, a look behind the scenes of a multicam performance, as well as a tutorial on how to edit that, and of course, topped off with our live discussion with you. Tweet us at #BehindTheScreens with your thoughts during the show. Let's begin. In cinemas this week, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, as well as Evil Dead Rise and Renfield, which our team here has been very excited about. But of course, we can't talk about the latest and greatest films without mentioning awards season. We've reached the end of the award show season this year, and it's been an eventful one. No one got slapped, but hey, that doesn't mean it's been a letdown. From record viewing numbers to fan favourite moments, let's find out from our correspondent how it's been.
2023's award season has come to an end, and it appears Everything Everywhere All at Once has come out on top with a total of 348 awards won across different award shows and festivals. It made history at this year's Academy Awards, becoming the first film to ever win 3 acting awards and Best Picture. The film's star, Michelle Yeoh, also made headlines as the first Asian woman to win Best Actress in the Academy's 95th year history. Plenty of buzz is also surrounded Brendan Fraser's portrayal of an obese English teacher attempting to reconnect with his estranged daughter in Darren Aronofsky's The Well. Both Fraser and Yeoh are best known for their work in the 1990s and 2000s, leading some to brand this year's Oscars as the year of the comeback. This extended to this year's host, comedian Jimmy Kimmel, who returned for his 3rd time with success. In response to the controversy of last year's Best Actor winner Will Smith physically assaulting comedian host Chris Rock, Kimmel said this.
I feel safe. So we have strict policies in place. If anyone in this theater commits an act of violence at any point during the show, you will be awarded the Oscar for Best Actor and permitted to give a 19-minute-long speech.
While less controversial and less violent, this year's Oscars ultimately saw an increase in viewership, with an estimated 18.7 million people watching the show on TV. A 12% increase on last year's, which was rated the 2nd worst performance in history. After 2021's post-COVID disaster, this year's success would be contributed to the crowd-pleasing favourites Everything Everywhere All at Once, All Quiet on the Western Front, Top Gun Maverick, and Avatar, The Way of the Water, being at the forefront of this year's event. Similarly, over on our side of the pond, the BAFTAs saw viewer ratings go up by 1.4 million, making it the most watched ceremony since 2019. Although this year's BAFTA ended in some controversy over the lack of diversity, with not a single person of colour winning an award, causing many to criticise online. Conclusion: 2023's award show season turned out to be an interesting one, with multiple actors making a comeback, suppressing viewer turnouts. Nominated film in line with both critics and public view and surprising view of turnouts. But there was still controversy, and it will be interesting to see what occurs next. But until then...
Well, there you go. Lots of unexpected twists this year. I personally loved Everything Everywhere All at Once. Definitely deserved all the wins in my opinion. What do you think? Let us know by tweeting #BehindTheScreens, and maybe you'll see us discuss your tweet at the end of the show. Next, let's meet Jake Hawkins, founder of the Red Video Company. Jake is a freelance filmmaker who also teaches film production students at the University of Winchester. Hi Jake, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.
First thing I'd like to ask you is, where did it all begin? How did you get into film?
Yeah, so I I was a student here at Winchester University. I graduated in 2008. I studied documentary filmmaking, and that's kind of had a kind of knock-on effect with, you know, all of my work sort of post-university. Apart from the zombie horror film that I made, but yeah,
We won't talk about it.
yeah. But yeah, that's kind of how it started really, and yeah, just got into filmmaking after that, music videos, short films, etc. Yeah.
Very nice. So what kind of work are you doing now? Anything exciting?
Yeah, quite a few kind of documentary pilots that we're working on at the moment. I can't really talk too much about because of sort of various NDAs and things like that, but very exciting. Yeah, really good fun. Some corporate stuff as well. So yeah, some pitching for an animation for a Vino cream, which isn't quite as exciting, but yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, all sorts really.
Very interesting, very interesting. You teach students of film production at the University of Winchester. I'm wondering, for our viewers, if you have any advice you'd give to aspiring filmmakers.
Yes, I mean, if it sounds like a cliche to say that there's never been a better time to get into filmmaking or to make a feature film. You know, if you are a filmmaker who wants to make a feature film, you know, equipment is so much more affordable and accessible. You know, we're talking about, you know, sort of high-end, you know, cinema quality stuff. You know, being able to shoot RAW and things like that, it's never been sort of more affordable. And, you know, access to drones and, you know, cinema quality aerial video as well, which just ups the production value. So much more affordable, so much more accessible. You're able to shoot with smaller crews, you know, and often on the indie end of the budget and the scale of that kind of film production, it can literally be a director, camera operator, you know, a sound recordist and your talent. You know, it's, you know, really at that end of the scale. So there's never been a better time, as cliche as that is to say. There really isn't.
A lot of opportunities.
Absolutely.
Our subject this week, practical subject, is multicam filming. I'm just interested, do you use multiple cameras when shooting a lot?
So we actually did one this week with a multicam setup, and again, it's, you know, the affordability now is that you can access really good cameras, you know, and you can have, you know, really good multicam setups for fairly sort of low cost, and all of the kind of equipment that goes with it as well. So again, smaller crews, you know, smaller, more affordable multicam setups are just like much more accessible now.
Well, I'd love to stay and talk forever about film and stuff, but we're going to have to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
It's been great, and I think our viewers will have found you very inspiring and very insightful. Thank you.
Cheers.
So, cam. Last week, I sent our producer James on set with a crew filming a multicam setup. Here's what he got up to.
I'm holding my man.
Today we're on a multicam set. Multicam is a staple of live action of filming. It's great for getting coverage of all the action. So we're here with the director, Natasha Farina, to tell us a little bit more about what's going on here today. So Natasha, explain what we're doing.
Yeah, so today we're filming a musical theatre showcase. So we've got 5 cameras for the multicam setup. Essentially, the guys are going to be doing sort of a dance singing number, and then we're also going to be listening to their songs and acting duologues. And we're capturing everything multicam.
How has this been put together?
Yeah, editing, yeah. So I am editing live. So it's not streaming out live, we're just editing live, but it basically is just to help us with time afterwards. So we'll still grade the footage afterwards in post, but it just saves us time doing it now. So yeah, so that's essentially, this is my vision mixing setup. It's pretty easy, sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on a camera. And then each camera has like an live on their camera, so they know when they're going live, as we don't have radios today.
If you haven't done this kind of multicam and mixed it live, we have got a tutorial coming later in the show to show you how to edit it easily in Premiere.
Do we get you on a camera?
I guess.
Yeah, let's get you on the dolly camera over here. So this is our main dolly camera, it's camera 2, and it's going to be getting our wide shots as well as a nice sort of panning across shot.
Motion,
Yeah, motion shot. So we're going to get you on it. Just watch out for the wires. So one thing that's difficult about live editing is you normally are attached by a load of wires, and on the dolly you have to try and keep them out of the way, which is why we normally have 2 people on each dolly to kind of help each other out. So yeah, let's get you on. And one thing you need to remember is that not only are you going to be moving the dolly, but you've also got to be making sure you're focusing and zooming as well.
Oh yeah.
So some cameras have 2 handles that you can control on, but unfortunately we don't have that today. So it's a lot harder.
Life a lot easier, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
Uh-oh.
Cool. Yeah, so let's give it a try. So. Yeah, so the best thing with the dolly is to get one direction that you're going. So when you know you're going to be on air, you kind of start one, dolly it across, and then stop, like sort out your wires, and then you can dolly back, because we will be cutting in between cameras, so that's really the best way. But yeah, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Everything was in focus, so that was good. Yeah.
Right, let's talk to another camera operator to see what they think about it. Brandon, you're a camera operator on the shoot.
Yes, I am.
Tell us a little bit how you've found it so far.
Well, I really do enjoy it here. I feel like it's a different experience than shooting single cam, obviously, because you have 5 cameras here. So it is very much a more systematic way of working. We come in, we set up, we cover, we get it done.
What's your biggest challenge so far then?
To be honest, I think Nat has spoken about it a bit before. It is the wires on set. I was operating camera earlier, and I think I tripped over a little bit. You know how Nat is editing it live, so it's also very unpredictable. So you don't know when your camera would be on anything. So
yeah, because she said about no radio,
yes.
so you've always got to be ready, and that's another stress
always have
in
to
itself.
be on. You always do need to be ready. You need to make sure you're in focus. Your aperture's great. Everything's great. Movement, angle, everything.
So many
It
things
needs to be So you're on it. You're just constantly on. And then finally, when you cut, you take a big sigh of relief. You're like, you're done. But yeah, I honestly think it's quite fun. It's quite exhilarating for me. So yeah.
Amazing. Perfect. Thank you for talking to us.
You're welcome.
And thank you for Natasha for letting us on this set, and for the whole production team in this process. It's been amazing. I've learned so much about multicam, and back to you, Toby, at the studio.
Gosh, that looked fun, but I bet it was a long day. I'm exhausted just thinking about it. As we saw in that occasion, the footage was live mixed throughout the day. Of course, that's not always how it goes. If you're starting out as a freelance filmmaker or just want to film multicam in your spare time, it would be helpful for you to know how to edit it afterwards. Luckily for you guys, we have just the thing. Roll the VT.
Starting off, so in our Premiere, so right here we have just an open Premiere project which is completely blank. We're going to be moving all of our files in. So I've named all the files based on the cameras that we used. So we have camera 1, 2, 3 and 4 along with a separate audio file that was recorded from a separate microphone. So I'm just going to select every single one of them, and we'll put them into the media tab. I'm just going to also create a new bin, and for the sake of it, let's call it multicam footage. And we're just going to select every single one of them and move them into that folder. Once inside, we're just going to right click, and we're going to do create multi-camera sequence. And once in this screen, we have a synchronized point, so in point out points timecode. Now, because we have a separate audio file, we're just going to we're just going to select audio, and let's go with just one channel, and press OK. And we're just going to give the editor a second. Then once that's done, we'll be able to mess around with the edit. Aha! So we're just going to double click on that folder, and then this is our new multicam composition. So if we just drag it in, and if we had to select it, now usually Premiere Pro will not have this button, which is the toggle camera view, but if you do want to do it, if you don't want to have, you just press on this plus here, and it should be right here next to the multi-camera record on and off. So we can just grab it and then move it in anywhere. If we have to plus onto the button, we're going to get these two screens and basically tell us which camera we're looking at. So at this point in the video, we're not seeing anything, and if we were to press play, we're not going to hear anything either, because now we're going to hear something, because it's based off of the audio.
Camera 4.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Let's go that way. Cool.
Okay.
So what can we do? This, if we were to select project itself, so we can switch between cameras, and one in the middle of it while it's playing. Let's say I want to switch to camera
Hello everybody,
2.
I am your unfortunate host for today, and in this example footage
camera
for
free.
the multicam tutorial. I'm going to be disassembling my slightly outdated laptop, and this
And
in
that's
Aspire
done.
Free.
So we can
made-
pause it, and then we can see that we've officially created a cut. So I can create cuts as the film is playing. So for example, I believe later on I'm discussing the different types of cameras, at least what the cameras that we're using.
Camera setup. We have camera 1 over there. We have camera 1 over here. Camera 2, my bad there. Camera 3, and then camera 4. Then in the corner, give me a pretty good video of the laptop.
And there we go. That's basically how you create a multi-camera sequence.
And there you have it. Now you should know how to shoot and edit a multicam project start to finish. Now it's time for us to open the floor to your reactions. During the show, we asked you to send in your thoughts and opinions, and we've had some interesting tweets. Film Maniac says, "Everything Everywhere All at Once is so overhyped. I like Morbius." Well, Film Maniac, I think you're overhyped. Slay Nation Cam asks, "What kind of sound recording device do you recommend for multicam setup?" Good question. The main feature to look for in an audio recorder for a multicam shoot would be to have a line input. This means if there is a sound desk, you can record the audio they capture. A good cheap recorder we recommend would be a Zoom H6, although it does still cost £300. Kelly Crimson says, "I love the live interviews with real filmmakers." Thanks, Kelly. Next week, I'll be joined by Coca-Cola reps who are starting their own streaming service, because why the fuck not? Anyway, thanks for tuning in. This was Behind the Screens. I'm your host, Toby Parker, and I'll see you next week. Good night.